Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing his gospel and truth and his sincerity to the best of their ability given to them by Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Lord will fall upon all your houses. Salakia for my sort of raspy, low voice. But anyways, man, Lord will, it is an edifying lesson. Lord will, it is straight to the point. But we're living into some, in some very hard and trying times, man. The times that we're ultimately coming into, is that final test. It's likened unto a school year, man, where at the end of the year, halfway through the year and the end of the year, you have these, you have a midterm and then you have a final, right? And we're vastly approaching that final, right, so to speak, man, which is ultimately what? The hour of temptation, which is that final test, which is to try your faith, right? And as we're seeing, and as we, basically work our way towards that day, we understand that everything is going to get worse, right? Matthew, the 24th chapter. Matter of fact, let's pull that real quick. Matthew, the 24th chapter, and I'm just going to hit straight to the point, right? After seeing all these, these different signs, what does it say in verse 8, right? It says, all these are the beginning of sorrows, man, which ultimately means, that as you progress through times, you see the uproars, you see the earthquakes, the pestilence, the famines, you see the plagues, you see the wars and rumors of wars, and everything as far as dealing with those are getting worse and more frequent. You have to understand that everything is leading up to a worse time, right? Which again is Jacob's trouble, right? World War III, and the deliverance, man, which are the last three major prophecies to ultimately come to pass, right? But I want to grab this, again, just another just letting you know, just another piece of information letting you know, that the times that we're in right now are only going to get worse, because it says right here, it says U.S. economy will soon start losing 175,000 jobs a month. Bank of America warns, right? So this is basically, they're saying, hey, the American economy is going to start drastically crashing, man. It says right here is the Federal Reserve fight to squash inflation will cause the U.S. economy to start losing tens of thousands of jobs a month beginning early next year, Bank of America warns, man. And we understand that these, they're one of their ways to help or to try and help fight inflation was these interest rate heights, man. They basically just, the interest rates on everything just started going up, man, which ultimately hinders the people, man, right? Because they're thinking that they can, by hiking up these interest rates, they'll be able to, people will be able to pay them, and then, and that interest rates will, basically go back into these banks. But it just trickles down, man, right? And it causes more and more problems, for the people, man, right? It says, although the jobs market remained surprisingly strong in September, the Fed is working hard to change that by aggressively raising interest rates, right, to ease demand for everything from cars and homes to appliances, which again is going to hinder the people a lot, man, right? Because they're already having a problem with, inflation on, food and regular consumer goods and gas, man. So how much more on their homes, right? Their mortgages, right? Their car payments, their let's say they're renting, appliances, right? That's all going to go up, man, right? Let alone this energy crisis that is ultimately, hitting the world, right? It says the pace of job growth is expected to be roughly cut in half during the fourth quarter of this year, Bank of America told clients in a report Friday, right? So we're going to see a lot of, joblessness, man. A lot of people are going to, lose their jobs, man. A lot of people, and it's going to be something like, what we had seen, going back to the scamdemic when everything was locked down, man. It's going to be similar to that, man. So let's go ahead and hit some precepts, man. And Lord will, it'll be edifying. So let's go have this Ecclesiastes, right? Because again, this is what we had seen, in dealing with the scamdemic. People lost a lot of jobs. The as the scriptures say, which we're about to read, is the sound of the grinding is low, right? Ecclesiastes 12:3, it says, "In that day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because there are few," meaning there's no jobs, right? Because again, these interest rates, right, going up is going to cause a lot of businesses, right, especially these smaller mom and pop businesses, right, to ultimately not being able to pay, their pay these interest rates, right? And what's going to happen? They're going to end up losing, or going to have to sell their business, right, to either these major corporations, or they're just going to have to go bankrupt, man. Which then is going to, cancel out a lot of jobs, man, right? A lot of jobs, It says, "And those that look out the window shall be darkened." It says, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low." So again, when we see with the scandemic, a lot of jobs, a lot of mom and pops, or a lot of smaller businesses were shut down, meaning that there's not a lot of work, meaning that there's a lot less people going out and doing, traveling, buying this, that, and the third, man. Because now people are worried about having a job, man. Right? Which then is going to affect a lot of things, man. It's going to affect their paycheck, right? It's going to affect them being able to eat. It's going to affect them, being able to pay their bills, right? Which is then going to lead into more, lead into that, that second address, the 15th chapter, man. Just another reason why the people are going to, basically riot, and sedition is going to raise up, man, and people are going to, go take what they need, man, right? It says, "And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low," right, man? Right? So let's go to this. Since, I ultimately quoted it, right? Going into second address, the 15th chapter. I think it's starting at verse 15, right? Verse 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, for they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power," right? Because again, interest rates are going to lead to businesses being shut down. Businesses being shut down is going to lead to job loss. Job loss is going to lead to people, rioting, and crime ultimately skyrocketing. Burglary, theft, right? Is ultimately going to skyrocket, man, right? Because people aren't going to be able to pay for food, or pay for gas, or pay for water. They're just going to go take it, man, right? So these are the times that we're coming into, man. It says, verse 17, it says, "The man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Right? Again, this whole time that we're talking about is leading into Jacob's trouble, man. Right? It says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword." Meaning they're going to come up against them, and they're in second Ezra 6, the 6th chapter. It says, "What? Friends shall fight one another like enemies," man. So they're going to come up in that house, and whether you know them 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and if you got to die for them to eat your food, guess what? You're going to have to die for them to eat your food, man. Right? People are going to ransack your houses, right? Which, there's many movies, on this type of situation that play out, man. There's one that brothers, have talked about, not too long ago. It's called American Blackout, man. Right? And it basically shows you that when all the electricity goes out, when everything, is down, And all hell breaks loose, man. You know, all hell breaks loose. If you haven't seen it, go and look it up. Right, you can type it in on YouTube. You brothers have seen it before. I can't necessarily. I know it's on YouTube, small clips of it. I don't know if the whole movie's on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure you can find it. Just type in American Blackout on Google or something like that, and it'll take you to it, right? But it shows you this situation happening, man, right? It says, the man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, right, man? You know, again, this is the time that we're leading into, right? With everything, that's already taking place, right? Again, gas, with the whole, OPEC and Nord Stream pipelines bullshit that's going on, and gas is about to skyrocket here in a little bit, right? Which is ultimately going to lead to food and consumer goods skyrocketing, right? Because these oil rigs, right? Or they're not the oil rigs, but these what are these transportation rigs, right? That bring these containers over, and they use oil, they use gas. Well, price is going to go up, and that's going to stop them, right, or hinder them from bringing over as much produce. Which we already know that the supply chain is halted, but hey, these damn devils are still moving shit, right? So it's not 100%, halted, right? They still got stuff moving in and out, right? But now when everything starts to go up, right, because the OPEC, Saudi Arabia, is now going to charge America 20 cents more per barrel, man. As well as they're dropping in production 2 million barrels a day, right? So the demand is gonna go up, but the supply is gonna go down, man, right? Which means what? Price is also gonna skyrocket. It's gonna hit more than 20 cents a barrel, man, right? On top of what it already is, right? So it's gonna skyrocket, which then again is gonna make food, and they're gonna make everything else skyrocket with it, man. Hey, but now they're talking about to put the cherry on top. Now they're talking about these added interest rates, right, on certain things are going to cause job loss, man. So again, we're coming into a very trying time, man, right? And this is why, again, you have to get right with Yahweh Shem Shai, man. Because when these times hit, hey, the Lord is going to feed his men. He's going to give them something to drink. He's going to protect them. Whereas everybody else is going to be asked out, man. Just to prove that. Isaiah 33 and verse 15, right? It says, he that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despiseth the gain of oppressions, that shaketh his hands from holding of bribes, that stoppeth his ear from hearing of blood and shutting his eyes from seeing evil, meaning what, man? That you're completely against the wickedness in this world, man, right? It says, he shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be the munitions of rocks. Bread shall be given him, and his water shall be sure. So, ultimately, those that are part of the elect are going to be taken care of. And there's many different instances in the scriptures, right? When Yahweh was breaking that bread and fed thousands, right? When Elijah the Tishbite, going into 1 Kings, the 17th chapter, right? When the Lord brought him, or commanded the ravens to give him food, in the morning and the evening, right? There's many different instances of where the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai for his men have done miracles, man. And in that same account of Elijah the Tishbite, and the Lord made it to where, this woman that he came across, that she only had a little bit to feed her and her son, then she was going to die. But the men of the Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai, said that your cruse of oil shall never fail, and your wheat or your food shall never go empty, man. Right? So let's say she had a bowl or like a container of whatever that was half empty, right? Every time that you scoop something in there to pull something out, it's as if you never even dipped in there, man. And you can do it 1,000 times, and it'll be as if you never, pulled any food out, man. I mean, you damn near have everlasting food, man. That's what the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is going to do for his men. Imagine drinking a cold bottle of water, chugging the whole bottle. You turn around and turn back and look at the bottle, and it's full again. Or you're sitting there drinking it, and it's like as if you never drank the bottle, man. You could just sit there and drink it for hours and hours and hours and hours, and the bottle will never go empty. And it's a regular 16-ounce bottle of water, man, that you get from the store, right? So these miracles are going to happen for the Lord's elect, man. You know, for those that have faith, those that believe. Everyone that doesn't believe, everyone that has no faith, guess what? All these things that we're talking about are going to take hold of you, and they're going to overtake you, and you're going to be destroyed. Bottom fucking line, man. You know? So get right with Yahweh Shem Yahshua while you can. You know? So that's all I really got. I just want to touch on that, man. We're coming into some very trying times, man. You know, job loss, you know, as well as these prices going up, man. It's going to make a very, very bad concoction, man. You know, for the masses. You know. So that, Lord will, was edifying. Lord will, straight to the point. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Al Shah Bashem, Rachakodash, that belongs to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the great millsong. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election Yahweh Bashim Al Shah, Lord, wonderful upon your house. Until next time, we'll say shalom.